is, oh, I can't believe I did that. Yay. That's, again, user error. I'm a small YouTube channel, which means the only people reaching out to me for sponsorships or products or anything like that are usually scams or really misplaced. I've been reached out for baby clothes when I have no children, athletic wear, which, yeah, right, hair bows. This has ever so much to do with our painting channel. So, imagine my surprise when I got an email from a company named Krydrufi. You might have heard of that. They've actually been around and recently had a successful Kickstarter. And they have sent me their all-in-one modular art box. So we're going to give that a try today and see if this will actually save you space, save you money, and save you hassle. So let's find out. One of the things I was very excited about this is because most of you do not have a wonderful studio like me. I certainly didn't where we were previously, so I understand the hassle and the struggles. This promises to be a space saver. Nice to know the box is nice and easy to get into, which is a good start. Comes with its own special mixing paper for the wet palette, 2 sponges for the wet palette. Always good to have an extra, especially because wet palettes are known for getting mold, even though there are tricks and tips you can do to avoid that. Disposable paper. So that's what's right on top. We've got cups. That's pretty nice. Okay. So this is actually a little heftier than I expected when lifting it up. All the modular accessories are already attached. Kind of makes sense. There's kind of a lot here. I have just been going through while I'm trying to set everything up, and I actually can tell you now the difference with the 2 papers and why you get 2. This one is the one we want. The yellow, beige, orangish color. The not blue one. That is because this one is for miniature paint. And I'm sure many of you, when I first pulled that out, noticed it and were yelling at me, well, why don't you read the package? It says it's for miniature paint. Whereas this one clearly says for acrylic, watercolor, gouache, and oil. Well, there's your difference. So the blue is for more fine art painting. What we have here with these cups, these are pretty neat. This one actually goes on the outside. This one you can keep on the inside, along with a nice little texture to help clean your brush. Cup number 1. Nice and clear. And yes, there are 2 of them. So over here, while we can do storage for dry brushes that we're not using at the moment, we can turn that into exactly how I like to work and get rid of cup number 2. Haven't actually saved any space on my particular desk. Once again, if you're talking storage, we could get rid of that. Also, more storage over there. So I personally don't need brush storage. These are also set to store brushes the way they're supposed to be, down. The reason you want to keep it this way is because if you flip it up, like my old brushes are, while they're wet, all the water will run into the ferrule and ruin your fine point. So this is the best way to actually store your brushes, and it's very convenient and handy and great that they took that into account. Oh, look, sure enough, When you know what to do, it's super easy. They actually just kind of snap. Just like I thought they were doing, I just wasn't pushing enough because I'm always afraid of breaking everything. 2 more places to store brushes and utensils. I can take this with some paint brushes in here and some paints in here. That's all I need. I'm painting this one up today. So we're going to use this system, and afterward I will record my thoughts and my feelings and how well they actually function, because the idea here and the manufacturing is phenomenal. I am actually very impressed with all of this from what I'm seeing right now. But if it doesn't work well, then it doesn't matter how well it's been made. It's still not going to function well. So let's find out how it functions. We're going to give it a good, thorough test. Now that I've been using it for a week, I have some thoughts that I want to share. First off, what is most important for us? The wet palette. So with the wet palette, what I have down here right now is the miniature paper, and I love this stuff. It is fantastic. Better than my Red Grass Games one at keeping the paint at the right consistency. It almost allows more water to come through so that, you know, even if you don't thin your paints, which I'm horrible about thinning my paints, it takes care of it for me. So that's fantastic. That's a fantastic feature. That something is specifically addressed for miniature paintings. If you want a bigger wet palette, which I totally do, I think they need to make a bigger wet palette, because that is, I would buy just that. That is amazing. Doesn't necessarily have to be part of the kit. I just want this paper in a larger size. Now, the downsides. When I refill the wet palette, I typically lift up the sponge and pour some more water underneath. So when I lift up the sponge and add the more water, it's fine. Everything seems fine for a while. But then when I cover it for the night and come back, you can see it's like a normal wet palette. It's almost like the water spills over. Why that doesn't happen instantly, I don't know. If that's a problem with just me or my environment, I don't know. But that is what I have found happens. The other thing I want to mention is that the wet palette, I did test it out. I sealed it up, turned it over upside down over the sink, and it is not watertight. Not much water came out. A few drops, a few drips, but not a lot. Oh! I can't believe I did that. Yay. That's, again, user error. And what I was trying to note is how easy I can actually use these clips now after using them for a week. And of course, kind of didn't prove my point there. But once you've gotten them open and you know how hard to push, they're actually very easy to use, the clips. Now, moving on to the water containers, the brushes and things like that. The one thing I will note is that there's this fantastic handle, which makes it great for carrying. So those of you who do not have a dedicated workspace like I do, if you have to make kitchen table work or something like that, that makes this very easy and convenient. However, there are holes in the side for that handle. So you have to make sure you don't fill it too much, or you will be wearing your paint water like I am.
Hey everyone, one more thing I forgot to mention. Very, very awesome key feature. Because these containers for the water are so square and so contained, you are never going to mix them up with your drinking water. Or whatever you're drinking. But basically, you're going to eliminate the accidents of drinking the paint water. How important is that? Very. Don't drink paint water. And don't lick your brushes.
These brush holders are absolutely great and super convenient to be right here. This keeps it so nicely out of the way that even if I'm airbrushing, I'm not likely to hit them. The brush holders are designed to go anywhere you want, and the inside ones, where I have here, they suggest for holding your brush in the water, submerged. Now, I don't recommend doing that. It's great for water paint, but we don't use water paint. And again, if you want to hold your bristles, I just feel like all that water is just going to absorb up into the ferrule and ruin my tips. The big question, is this worth it? Would I pay money for it? Well, unfortunately, the answer to that is no, because I am not the target audience. I have a whole studio. I have space. So I don't need space saving. Take that back a few years to when I didn't have a studio, when I didn't have all this space and I was painting in my dining room. I would buy this in a heartbeat in that case, because this is really fantastic. Sure, it has some flaws, but what you get for it and what it does for you makes it so much more worth it. The few issues that I've come up with this product is well worth it for anyone who does not have a lot of space, who has to move their stuff frequently. Now that I have it, I will continue to use this. I recommend you check it out. Now, they were very generous giving this to me, but they are beyond generous in that I can also give you 5% off anything you purchase from them with the link in the description below. You can buy an entire set. There's 2 different sets. One comes just like you see here, or there's another set which comes with the extra wet palette and dry palette, 5% off. Check it out. I will definitely be going on there and using it myself to get some refills of the amazing miniature painting paper. I think I'm going to try putting this on my red grass so I have the larger size. Look at it, consider it, and thank you, Krydrufi, for providing this and making such a great product and allowing me to review it for you. That's it for this one. So until next time, have fun and keep creating.